name is Justin Fagan. I am part of the EverAg team. I work in the crop insurance department here, and I'm here to discuss your ARC PLC Farm Bill elections for 2024. So, Title I commodity program is what it's officially labeled at, but what we are going to talk about is the PLC, the ARC County, the ARC Individual, and a little bit at the end here about the supplemental coverage option. Granted, that is a crop insurance related item, but it does actually pertain to the FSA and some of the commodity programs. So, a lot of this common terminology will take place in regards to other media out there, but just a quick overview of what it is and why we talk about it. So the Olympic average, we are actually in this example going to be taking a total of 5 numbers, and we are going to take out the highest number, the lowest number, and we're going to average the remaining numbers. And then we're going to talk about base acres. Base acres are decoupled from the actual planted acres. So they will not follow what's actually planted. They are actually preset per farm. And if we do get the opportunity to update them, I strongly suggest that you look into it. And then we're going to talk about reference price, why that is established, and how that pertains to the programs. And then at the end, we're going to talk about county yields. And I want you guys to understand that county yields are different from T yields or anything like that. They are trend adjusted yields using RMA data, meaning crop insurance data, to get those yields. So they're pretty realistic for each county. Next, on to reference prices. So this document comes out, it came out on December 31st of 2023, and we're going to work our way from the left to the right on this. So column A, we're going to talk about 3 commodities in general: wheat, corn, and beans. And then B column, we're going to talk about the marketing year. So corn and beans, especially now we're talking about, it has a marketing year of September 1st to August 31st, meaning that what we elect today doesn't actually start tracking a marketing price until September 1st of this year and goes through 2025 in August. They are figured by bushel, and then you always hear about the reference prices and, possibly how low they are, or that they are trying to update them and get them a little bit higher. So $5.50 on wheat, $3.70 on corn, and $8.40 on beans. So column E actually comes into play. We haven't gotten a chance to take advantage of it, but we will kind of come back to that in brief. F through J, we are going to be talking about 2018 through 2022 prices. So you're going to look at the high prices, the low prices are already scratched out. So we do have 85% of the marketing average on those, or the Olympic average on those. We get K as a 505, 401, and 926. So L, we are taking the lower of column E or the higher of D or K. So in this example, we get 2024 reference prices on wheat set at $5.50. We do get to take advantage of corn bumped up to $4.01 and beans at $9.26. Moving on to the PLC. So I want you guys to understand that PLC is price loss coverage only. This does not go into yield. It doesn't do anything else. It goes into your marketing year average price, and it's going to compare that to what that reference price is and how it'll pay out. So on corn, we're going to look back at 2019, 356 was below 370. That was the last time that corn paid out on the PLC program. Beans, it's been a little bit longer yet. And wheat, we did have a payment back in 2020 just based off of that price. And now at the bottom, we're looking at where 2023 is now and where 2024 is. And if you're inquisitive like I am, you're probably going to look at this and think, where are these numbers coming from? And we will get to that in just a second. But know that 2024 is kind of a ballpark area because it is so far out and we don't have enough data yet to really effectively track that as it stands today. So the 2023 price projections, we looked at that and we figured, where do we get the 485, the 1290, and the wheat prices? So this is actually a copy of the January WASDE report, and we get that down here from the average farm prices per bushel. So 485 on corn and 1290 on beans. Our county, next on the list, it is based on county revenue, using 86% of the county benchmark. That 86% of the county benchmark is an important number to have in place. We're going to talk about that in the future too. But it uses a county benchmark using the 5-year Olympic average of yield, 5-year Olympic average on the marketing price. So the way it's factored in the bottom, this is actually using Iowa County, Wisconsin. The reason I use Iowa County, Wisconsin is because it's got a county average of right around that 200 bushel per acre. It's solid ground that well drains. So actually the ARC yield, we are taking out the high price, which is going to be 2022, the low price, which is 2019, and we get that Olympic average of 205.4. And the marketing year average, we are going to take out the low price, which is 2019. Again, the high price is 2022. And the reason I have this 2018 in red is because that will be substituted with that 401 reference price because it fell below that for this year. So that we get a total Olympic average of $4.85. So that price is specific to our county alone rather than the 401 for PLC. We use 86% of that total. So 205 times 485, we'll get a total of 996. 86% of that is $857. So if 2024 is going to be 200 bushel per acre, and we have that marketing year average price of $4, we are going to come in a deficit about $57 on our county. Keep in mind that beans and wheat are going to be factored separately, but I just want to use one crop just to kind of give you guys an idea of where the math is and how that comes into play. Next on the list is going to be ARC individual. Folks, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because this one can get a little bit more complex, but it does pay on 65% of the base acres versus your ARC County and PLC, which pay on 85% of the base acres. So it is significantly less. Prevent plant farms in whole are going to be your prime candidates for this program. Other than that, think about it as like an optional unit policy using the farm bill. So if you have a farm that you have a feeling is going to yield very, very poorly, it might be a candidate for ARC individual, but it's not a program to be used lightly. It's not a program to be used often. Lastly, we are going to talk about the supplemental coverage option and how that pertains to the farm bill decisions. So again, we're going to work our way on this chart from the left to the right. The orange chart here, this insured level, we go from 0 to 100%, meaning that on your farm, we're going to say that you have a 200 bushel average. We're going to say the spring price as it stands today is going to be 480. We still do have the full month of February to figure this out, but for this sake, we are going to have a 200 bushel average times 480, meaning crop insurance looks at your farm that you're going to produce 200 bushels times that $4.80 price to get $960 in revenue. In this example, we are insuring 75% of that, meaning 75% of 200 is going to be 150 bushels. 75% of 960 is $720 in revenue. Now, the two columns on the right are going to be area coverage, meaning that we are going to be using area yields. Again, those area yields are going to be trend adjusted RMA data. On this example, we're going to say the county actually matches the individual, saying it's 200 bushel. And SCO is going to pick up at that 75% and take you up to 86% using county yields. It does use that same spring and fall price if you have a revenue protection program. So 86% of that 200 bumps you up to 172 bushels per acre and or $826 in revenue. The reason why we are talking about SEO is because you must elect PLC if you choose the SEO program. It is a highly subsidized product. It is an excellent program. However, because it uses 86% of the county yield, it is too close to mimicking the ARC County. So if you elect ARC County and you also choose SEO, you will not get to take advantage of the SEO program. And on ECO, just because we're talking so similar about it, also uses a county adjusted yield, but that can take you up to 95%. So that's going to cover a 9% window in this example, where your SEO is going to cover an 11% window. So they call that kind of a banded coverage, but nevertheless, how they factor in together and how they all kind of work together to a degree as well. A lot of options out there, but I do want to kind of break this down and try to simplify this. That is my goal here. Moving on, we're going to finish this out just kind of going over a recap of what we discussed. So again, the PLC reference prices for 2024 are set at 401, 926 on beans, and 550 on wheat. The ARC County benchmark prices are set at $4.85, $11.12 on beans, and $6.21 on wheat. In my opinion, ARC County, unless you choose the SEO, is going to be definitely your most attractive option, just because of the prices of where they are. So we have some attractive ARC County benchmark prices. And, granted, it does take a county yield into consideration, but if we might have a little bit of a yield drag as well as a little bit of a price drag, ARC County might be a little bit more attractive than PLC. With that, I thank you all for taking part in this video that we hosted. And if you have any questions, I would be glad to help out in any way that I can.